Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
What up, y'all? It's K&B, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe. Welcome to the New World Podcast, brother. You've probably seen some changes, name changes, some stuff moved around, this and that. Well, you are now listening to a Paper Saber universe, the network itself for my many creative outlets that I'm going to be going to do going forward. And one of those creative outlets is this podcast, the New World Podcast. So this isn't going anywhere, but there's more stuff on the way, on the horizon. I'm bringing back the Sexy Ninja Cast, do reviews on movies and stuff like that. And just before we jump into SmackDown, this change is coming from a place of I felt like I was in a creative rut. Well, I was, honestly. I felt like it. I was. And don't get me wrong, I love professional wrestling more than anything. But I also love comics, music, and movies and stuff like that. So under the banner of the New World Podcast, I really couldn't share those things because it felt like such a restriction. You know, because this is all about pro wrestling, you know, and I want to do goofy shit on TikTok or make some goofy videos and stuff. But I locked myself into the banner of the New World Podcast. And don't get me wrong, the goal was to make the New World Podcast the best thing it can be. Look at where we're at now. I believe this is episode 244 of season 4, of this incarnation of this podcast. That's a lot of fucking episodes, man. I was thinking about it. And every time I put together this podcast and I edit everything and I put it together and make a nice little package, make the thumbnail, I go and look at all the other projects I have and I'm like, man, I need to create more. I want to share my opinions on other things too. So you heard me say, welcome to a Paper Saber universe. A Paper Saber universe is my network. In my brain. It's my universe. It's stuff I want to create. I've made short films. I've made, all types of dope stuff. And now I just want to unleash it as best as possible. And the New World Podcast will not suffer for this. It's going to stay on track because I love watching professional wrestling, but I also want to share my loves of other things with you. And if you want to rock with that, that's a separate category. You can go like, okay, I want to listen to Sexy Ninja Cast. I'll listen to Sexy Ninja Cast. I want to watch this. I want to watch that. Exclusive YouTube stuff. Now I don't feel so restricted to a name. Like, now that this channel is called a Paper Saber Universe or wherever you're listening, a Paper Saber Universe, you're going to get some dope content. And I can't wait to bring the best. And tonight, not tonight. Well, yeah, tonight is Money in the Bank. Well, this afternoon for me because they're in the UK. But let's just jump right into it. That's what's going on. If you saw the changes, saw the names, switching up of logos and stuff like that, that's what's going on. New World Podcast is not affected in any way, shape, or form. It's, it's still going to roll on, and you guys can listen every day. A podcast drops, and just know that there's other stuff coming to the channel or streaming platform that you're listening to for a Paper Saber universe. So that's what's going on there. Now let's get on to what we're here for, folks. Let's talk pro wrestling. SmackDown, June 30th, 2023. Michael Cole, Wade Barrett on commentary. We're in London, England, and we start this bad boy off with the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship match. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens versus Pretty Deadly. I love their outfits. And new. Yes, boy. All I will say off the bat is this crowd was loud. To boos, to cheers, to a point to where I didn't know who was rooting for who was rooting for what, who was booing who. Like, it was a who, because that crowd was loud. But there was distinctive noises where, you know who they wanted, you know who they did. But there were some points, too, I got kind of confused. Like, towards the end with Roman Reigns. Like, when he came out, big pop. In the ring, loud boos. Like, I was like, y'all need to pick a lane here. So, but he's a heel, so, we can boo Roman Reigns. But we started off with this big tag team championship match. The match itself was kicking off to a great start, but I believe poor Kevin got hurt. His ankle, that kind of affected the pace of this. Like, all of a sudden, it went from being like, okay, wait, Kevin's slowing down. Oh, and I think distinctively, this match was good, but it affected the match itself. So, but Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens retained the titles. There's some really fun spots with Pretty Deadly. You know, they did their switcheroo thing and whatnot, you know, switching bait or whatever you want to call it. But I just felt bad for Kevin because I could tell he really hurt his ankle. Even his boot was off at the end of that match when he did the stunner and everything. You can see his sock. So he definitely hurt himself. Hopefully this does not affect him so much for them to lose the titles. Like, they have to give him back because Kevin's not able to perform. So we'll see what's more on that. Adam Pearce backstage interview interrupted by the Brawling Brutes because of what Solo did and everything. And Ridge Holland wants a match. He gets a match with Austin Theory. And I was like, what's going on with Austin Theory? Like, he's been off WWE TV for a bit. We really haven't had anything. There was a tease here and there, you know, and we teased a little bit with him and Sheamus, but nothing with Austin Theory has been on the table as of late. And when they said Ridge Holland versus Austin Theory, I was like, oh, shit. Austin Theory, yeah, where have you been? What's going on, bud? You know? But this sets up that match, and that's the next match in the card. Austin Theory for the win. Then he starts beating down Ridge Holland. Here comes Sheamus. A little bit of tease, I guess, for these two. Maybe for the United States Championship. Maybe next Friday we will see these two battle for the United States Championship. We shall see. But I'm just curious what's going on with Austin Theory. We have a Karrion Kross promo package on AJ Styles calling him out. There's going to be a match next week, apparently, you know, because after these two have been battling, and I don't know, like, the way they built this thing, with, you know, it's not really holding my interest whatsoever. You know, I want to see AJ Styles and Karrion Kross go at it, but my interest in the story itself is not really there. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Next up is Shotzi versus Bayley. Bayley's spot is on the line. Zelina watches on. You know, Bayley for the win because of Io Sky. I'm waiting for those two just to fall apart and everything like that. But we do have a backstage brawl with the two. They beat up Shotzi. You know, this is the real fun part of this. Like, they beat up Shotzi, and Bayley cuts some of her green hair off. And I was like, oh, and then left humiliated. So what does this mean for the Money in the Bank? Will Shotzi come out and cause Bayley to lose? Or will Bayley and Io Sky get into it, but Shotzi comes in? This is like the whole Bronson Reed thing. What the fuck is going on? You know? So Shotzi, I feel, is going to interfere in the Money in the Bank to cause Bayley to lose, and then we're going to go off on some story with those two. That's just what's looking like it's going to happen. Grayson Waller effects next with Logan Paul. That man got booed. He got booed, you know, drinking his prime. Well, after when the match starts next for the triple threat. But I noticed Grayson Waller has lost his desk. He used to have a desk where he did the Grayson Waller effect, and no desk. Now it's reduced down to chairs. This feels like what they did to Jericho in his show. When he had a little Tron behind him, and then it started reducing more and more, probably down the budget. And like the KO show, like most shows that last on, they have a little bit of a gimmick, sort of get dwindled down to a sign and two chairs and maybe a plant. Then sometimes the plant goes away. They got the sign and two chairs. It's like Miz TV's all the way down to just two chairs in the ring. So I'm wondering if that's going to happen to the Grayson Waller effect. But Logan Paul comes out. He's trying to cut something. That crowd won't let him have it. But the big pop of the night was L.A. Knight coming out, man. And Logan tried to take some shots at him. Like, you're just supposed to be a manager, blah, 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 your lackluster career. Blah. It just really wasn't landing because that crowd was like, fuck you. We want L.A. Knight. And, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you know. I love LA Knight, and I'm glad to see that his shirt is popping off on the store. I need to get one. But Escobar comes out. Butch comes out. Butch is funny. He runs to the ring and just smashes Logan Paul's face. He's like, blah, I'm Butch. You know, then we cut the commercial real quick, and we come back, and it's a three-way match, LA Knight versus Butch versus Santos Escobar. Butch for the win. Logan Paul's outside, but they start doing this weird thing like they did with the money, women's money, where Becky crawled up and she grabbed the thing and she held it and all this and that. And LA Knight trying to go up, and he gets pulled down by Butch. Then Butch tries to... Oh, no. LA Knight gets pulled down by Logan Paul. Then he goes up. Then Butch pulls him down. Then Butch goes up, and he takes the thing, takes the money in the bank. He's holding it like he won it and everything like that. And everyone's like, yeah! And I'm like, if he wins it, does he get his real name back? Is that part of the contract in there? If he actually does win the money in the bank, which I don't think he will, but I'm just wondering, will that Butch name go away? But this was really fun. A really fun match. Santos Escobar tried to do that whole LWO, but you ain't gonna get it there. So I just can't wait though to see all these things kind of intertwine into this, and Logan Paul in that Money in the Bank. AJ Styles responds to Cross, and he says, "Look, you got that Scarlet. I got somebody that can handle it. Meechin." And they look on, so studious. Is it studious a word? No, so serious. Let's do serious. And the camera and saying like, "Hey, we're the OC, baby." Next up, Charlotte Flair versus Asuka. Disappointing. I was really looking forward to this match. It's a big match. I felt like it should have been the main event, but of course we got to focus on the bloodline. That's what's going to happen. They're going to go on last. But at least give me a match. Like, there were some cool spots, little things that were a little bit rushed and whatnot. That crowd booing Charlotte, rooting for Asuka. And like I said, the crowd is so weird. So now I know I'm going to know what I'm walking into. It's like in Puerto Rico for Backlash. It was a different vibe of crowd. Like the crowd makes the show, but sometimes they're just so excited because WWE hasn't been here for so long that they're just loud, and they're going to do the what, the classic chants. And like when Paul Heyman comes out Roman, they do the EC dub. I'm like, what does that have to do with anything that's going on right now? So like it was very like when you listen, you're trying to be like, okay, are they, where's this crowd stand? And after Bianca, they hit Bianca because she's outside, and God, I was getting really annoyed with her. She bought a ticket. She's in the front row. She bought a ticket, and she's like waving it the whole time, and she keeps like showing us, I got a ticket. I was like, I understand you got a ticket to the show. Just stop waving it. You made your point. We've all seen it on camera. You've got a ticket. And then she gets smashed in the face by Charlotte, and I'm like, oh, thank God. And then she comes in, and she hits Asuka, causing a DQ. Then, Charlotte goes out there, puts her hand in her face, and then bada bing, bada boom. At the end of it, Bianca's the last woman standing, and I'm just like, I don't want this. Or unless Bianca's going to go heel. Like, I felt like this was the perfect opportunity for her to go heel. It was right here, and it didn't happen, causing this match to cause a DQ, and this was the major flop of the night for me. For like, it just didn't sit right because I was like looking forward to this match. I knew Bianca would play some form of like part of it, but causing a full-on DQ, that I was like, oh fuck, and she stood tall over both. So I was just like, well, when are we going to see this rematch? SummerSlam? Will we see Bianca versus Charlotte versus Asuka for the championship at SummerSlam in Detroit? That's a whole month and a half away, though. I think we're going to see it sooner than that. Now, we end it with the return of returns, the return turn, another return, the return turn of return of the return turn of Roman Reigns. He's back again because he has a big match at Money in the Bank's Bloodline Civil War. He comes out, and there's something somebody pointed out on the interweb. Brock Lesnar's nameplate is on the WWE Championship. Is that a foreshadowing of not this match, but of him coming out during Cody's match? Because in this Triple H era of WWE, there's weird subliminal little things in the background that you need to pay attention to. There's things that happen in the ring that you need to pay attention to. There's, when promos out, there's always something like, oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? So someone pointed out that, and I kept looking. I was like, yeah, I think that's it. It's red and whatnot. I was like looking, and I'm like, is this a foreshadowing of Brock Lesnar showing up at Money in the Bank? And I'm definitely, I did predict it, that he's going to come out and beat up Cody, maybe after he wins and stuff like that, and he's going to accept his challenge, and then we're going to get these two at SummerSlam. That's just my guess on this whole thing. So, that's what I got from this. But this was great. It was a fun way to end the show. Roman's doing his thing. That crowd is just not letting him talk, but he's going to talk anyway. Usos come out, and my favorite part of this whole exchange is the Usos be like, I don't want to be tribal chief. Do you want to be tribal chief? Do you want to be tribal? Nah. And they're like, no, you know what? We know who should be tribal chief. And he's got our vote. And they look at Solo in this justice moment. And the brilliance of Roman Reigns is like acting skills of like stopping and Solo slowly looking at Roman. I was like, oh, will it happen? Because he laughed when he's like, Solo is a tribal chief, and Roman laughed, and Solo didn't like that. He was like, he looked at him, and then Roman's like, whoa, hey. And Paul's like, whoa, hey, what's going on? But all in all, it ends in a big fight. I mean, I thought it was going to be Roman, like, standing over them, just a glimpse of, like, yeah, I am the one, the only one. And that was a really great promo of his, though. He was like, I'm the only one to do this, the only one. He's losing his mind. And at first, I remember bitching about why is Paul still carrying around those other championships when the point of the championship around his waist is to be the combination of those two. But I'm like, he's a narcissist. He's an egotistic son of a bitch. Like he's lost his mind. So he has to show everyone that he's the champ. And triple B if you want to. He is the champ, and Paul's in his head. And his family is just exploding. And now it's going to come down to the bloodline civil war at Money in the Bank. Security guards came out. Usos are flying and stuff like that. Super kicks, super punches, Superman punches and everything. I was like, I cannot wait. This is going to be a great, great match. So that was it. That's all. I got to say, though, 3.5 out of 5 for the SmackDown. I did enjoy it. I was, like I said, the thing that put a bad taste in my mouth was Charlotte and Asuka's match, because I was really looking forward to that. And Bianca's interference, I was like, okay, sure, let's see what happens next now, match of the night, I was going to say the Undisputed Tag Team Championships, but it started, and then it just, it's not due to anybody, it's not Kevin's fault, but he got hurt. So it happens, man. LA Knight and Butch and Santos was fun, real quick. Fast. I was surprised Butch getting the win. I was like, oh, okay, sure. Yeah. I like LA Knight getting a lot of love. So 3.5 out of 5. Tell me what you thought of the show. Tell me what you didn't like about the show. Drop those comments below. RIP Draws, he passed away recently, and that was on the starting of the show and everything like that. And it's always sad when we lose somebody in this business. But RIP. Much love, much respect. All right, y'all. Like and subscribe. Share with your grandma. Share with the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB, the Sexy Ninja. And don't worry, that Pro Wrestling Tee Stores is not going anywhere, because I made some few sales, and I appreciate everyone. Go get yourself ProWrestlingTees.com/New World Podcast. Get that sweet nWp logo. Get that logo. Put it on, and let's see it in the crowds at shows, and keep it rocking. Give me that too sweet side. And that's it. That's all. And you know this. The New World Podcast is for life, brother.
And even though he tripping hard. And he is tripping, like tripping. He got my vote. And he got my vote too.